I think that radio's got that amazing sneaky ability to get into places that, we wouldn't normally be able to get to.
Mm.
Sometimes people who are walking with their mental ill health won't come into church or they won't, go and see a counselor, but they might turn on Vision in their car.
Look, I'm really looking forward to our next guest. His name is Pastor Dave Quak. He does appear on Vision on a Sunburnt Souls show he does in a podcast. He's also the pastor of a local church in the Tugun Baptist Church. Pastor Dave, you are a great friend of Vision Radio. We want to welcome you this morning.
Oh, it's my pleasure to be here. I really appreciate you letting me come on, Andrew.
It's so good because we know that, Dave, one of the things that you delve right into the middle of is some of the tough stuff, like mental health, anxiety, the real day nitty-gritty of life. How do you find that with media is helpful to get in the middle of those situations where we're tempted to be anxious and worried and angry? What are your thoughts on those?
I think that radio's got that amazing sneaky ability to get into places that, we wouldn't normally be able to get to. Sometimes people who are walking with their mental ill health won't come into church or they won't, go and see a counselor, but they might turn on Vision in their car and hear the rest of the God spot or hear the rest of the encouragement or even let the positive, song wash over them. I know in the Bible, so much Jesus talks about our money being like seed. And I really like that, like seed that we get to sow places. And I think what radio does is almost like get a handful of seed and walk up and put it in front of like a really big fan. And then the fan just blows this seed to all these places that we can't see. But because of that, those seeds can land in the car when you're having a bad day or next to your bed when you've had a fight with your spouse or after school drop off when you're feeling insane. Those seeds of the gospel can land in your car. So that's why I love Jesus, but I love Christian radio for those reasons.
Yeah, and you're a pastor of a local church. You've also got Sunburnt Souls, which is a great ministry in itself. And let's be honest, Dave, it's awesome. And that's all free. You can go to church for free. You can listen to a podcast or the radio for free. But behind the scenes, people are sowing seeds, aren't they? Financial seeds that makes that happen. And we've been sort of exploring this thought this morning. Sow a seed to meet the need. Talk to us about that.
Yeah. I really like that, Andrew, because all of us have got limited seed. I wish I had unlimited seed. I wish I had silos of seed, but I've got limited seed. So when I sow financially into something, I just want to make sure that it's going towards people's lives being changed.
Yeah.
That is the economy, and we can't measure that. You can't put a monetary value on somebody's life going from brokenness to restoration because they're listening to Vision. Like, what's a testimony cost? $500? We don't know. But what we do know is that Vision is reaching, millions of people all over Australia. And when you sow into that and get your tax deductible donation, it's tax deductible, isn't it, Andrew?
It sure is.
Yes.
It sure is.
Yeah, man. So sow into that. It's almost like you get a double portion. You can sow, get half back, re-sow next financial year, and then like July financial year, Andrew, thanks this day, Andrew, because July financial year, Andrew's getting his tax return and taking somebody out to dinner.
Oh, I love that.
Amen.
But I actually love, and Dave, you touched on something that's very true in my life, is you in school drop-off. And it is a stressful place. Like, I am not my best version of myself in the school drop-off car park. Like, it is. That's the one time, if you ask my kids, where is mum the most and not her best?
Or where does mum need Vision the most?
Yes, it is.
Mum needs Vision
it's
at school drop-off.
It does. And I need Vision to be turned on to remind me that I follow Jesus in that moment, don't I?
Yeah, you do, because music is one of the most emotive, mediums. And so say you're already a little bit ragey, fell, and then you drop off the kids and something from another radio station is kind of like making you more anxious and angry. It's just going to make it worse.
Yes.
But if you listen to Vision and the song choices and the little encouragements that you can do better, well, maybe it takes you from, a path of brokenness to actually love and life again.
Yeah.
And then you just text the kids later and say sorry and take them to Macca's after school. Everything's forgiven. But it is that moment from your day continuing in that trajectory or changing to being something that's actually redeemable.
Yeah, so good, Dave. And look, it's not my kids that I'm raging at. It would be the other parents. Parenting school car parks. Just follow the rules, people. Sorry, no, that's okay. We need vision. And Dave, that's a big part of what you do. And I know you're here and you work through vision. We play Sunburnt Souls. We love what you're doing and partnering with you. But you are talking to people who are not always in their best form of themselves. There's dark things happening in their minds and in their worlds, and you're able to speak right into the middle of that.
Yeah, absolutely. I've got a lot of love for Vision for heaps of reasons, but you guys were the first to let me come on as a podcast, and through your, app and website, a lot of people have listened to it, and it's called Sunburnt Souls, and I got this back just only 2 days ago from a guy called Anthony, and he said, Sunburnt Souls is bringing an awareness to those with mental health issues within the church and the wider community. Dave challenges the status quo and helps normalize the struggles I have with my mind at times. It's uplifting and fighting against the shame that can cast people away from God who are struggling with their mental health issues. And I think that's so powerful. Something that radio can do is get into the crevices of people who are struggling with stuff that they might not necessarily want to go and talk to their pastor about or whoever else. But because these radio waves are just saturating Australia, people can, in their sacred little moments, have a listen and get maybe just a little revelation of, the fact that, God loves me and he's for me. And even in my darkness and brokenness, I might be able to get through this. And so I get encouraged because I get them all the time, Fel. All the time. People's texting over and over and over. I've heard this. I needed this. No one feels like I feel like nobody's listening, but you're listening.
So good.
Incredible. And it's an example too of the ministry of vision. It's not just radio. It's not just daily devotionals. Even our podcast platform, people like you, Dave, are able to put you on there. Your podcast gets broadcast and people's lives like that gentleman's are being impacted and God's doing his will and his work in their lives. This is exciting.
Well, it is. And Dave, I'm loving to hear because you're exactly right. And sometimes there are things that we're dealing with that no one else knows about. You're not feeling comfortable going to your pastor. You might not have a pastor you feel like you can go and chat to. You've got no friends that you can have a chat to because it's embarrassing. But radio and other media like the podcasts provide an opportunity for people to find out God's will for the situation and get help right in the middle of that.
Yeah.